Welcome in to opening day here of the college baseball season to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Good Friday morning to you.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of sleep.
Not a lot of sleep.
Stewie is here. Lloyd is here. We are going to have our Foodie Friday segment presented by Iverstein's coming up here at the end of today's show. So stick around, as yesterday you saw Galen Iverstein chop up some flank steak for the cooking couple, as they will be here this morning at around 8:30. Nathan is out. Nathan's got the vid. Finally got it, he said.
I was just talking about the vid. I thought it might have been... It's been too long since we've had a vid scare. There's nothing to talk about. So what do you got to conjure up a little COVID controversy.
It is.
And it's the Jordy Culotta Show doing it. Breaking news.
Nathan Velasquez.
COVID is back.
Yeah, he's going to be out this Friday as he's dealing with COVID. So we'll talk to the cooking couple this morning for Foodie Friday, coming in here at 8:30 this morning. Lots to get to, as Benny Mintz will be on the phone at some point this morning. He's down in New Orleans. He's going to be at the box tonight, and we will call him at 8 a.m. this morning. Get an outlook on the weekend, some of these lines on college baseball games, what he thinks about LSU going into the season. LSU basketball, women's basketball last night stays alive, stays hot, as they roll Mississippi State on the road, as Lady Tigers are setting themselves up for a really nice spot in postseason play. Coach Kim Mulkey, it is unbelievable the turnaround in just one season behind Coach Kim Mulkey. Extended the winning streak yesterday to 5 games. They're 22-4 on the season. 71-59 winners over Mississippi State. We'll talk all about that coming up here. Remember, daily, our water is provided by True Blue Water, TRUBluewater.com. Majestic Coffee brings us our coffee every day, and Metropolitan Health Group, real doctors, real solutions. Charlie Harvey and Jason Ramazan provide our phone line every day. And as we said, we'll talk to Ben Mintz at 8 o'clock this morning, and the cooking couple will be in here on a Friday. Carpool Queen is going through carpool this morning, and she'll be in at around 8 a.m.
She was trying to avoid us after the bet yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, double or nothing.
Are we taking advantage of her?
Yeah.
Kind of. I think they were
we're not giving her any points.
Easy target.
We're not letting her really know.
She doesn't really.
That's how you get into gambling. You got to take the bad beats first.
Favorite opening day story? You got one?
No.
Opening day at the box?
No.
None?
That was
college?
No, we didn't really do a lot of, I love baseball. I love going to the games, but we didn't make a point of going on opening day. We weren't that into it because, I don't know, just kind of missed it.
Yeah.
They weren't that good when we were there. It was right off the national championship. So 2010, it was kind of a little down year or whatever. Lull. Yeah, a little lull. So we just kind of missed it. You?
A lot. Growing up, my really one of the first pieces of passionate fan base stuff that you would see around LSU that I remember as a kid was baseball, because you didn't really see it in football when we were kids because they were so bad. I remember those early 80s teams, or not the mid 80s teams and late 80s teams with Tommy Hodson and all those guys. They were a really good group, and you could kind of feel the passion, but you didn't really feel it until the first time you went to the box as a kid with Skip Burtman. It was just everybody you knew was there. All of the it would feel like the town would almost shut down for a baseball weekend, for big baseball weekends. And then for opening day, when the weather was right, it had almost like a spring football game, football tailgating type atmosphere around it.
Feels like something's here.
Yeah, it does.
Something to do.
An arrival.
Yes, something in the air.
This year is, I think, especially exciting because a lot of new everywhere when you talk about new coaches and Jay Johnson and what he's bringing in. Jacob Berry adding a little bit more pop to that lineup. But this team feels like they could do so. They could kind of get on a run and have a special season. And to be there at the start of it is usually a pretty cool deal for a lot of people. And if you want to start it off real early, 3:30 this afternoon, we're going live at Fred's.
Yeah.
Mic'd up. Mikey Matuk is going to be there on the stage. You'll have a lot of the characters from LSU baseball walking through. I think Anthony Renato's on the docket. I think Kevin Galsman's going to stop through. Did he say Galsman? I know Paul Maneri.
Yes, Paul Maneri, I believe at 4:30 is the big dog that's actually had to schedule. Everybody else should be like floating in and out, I believe. Like we don't have set times because that's kind of the way we wanted it. Like we wanted kind of a rotating door of people coming in and out. Jared Mitchell will be up there for sure. Mikey will be up there for sure. I'll be up there for sure. Stewie will be up there for sure.
I'll be up there.
Jay will be up there for sure. So we have a lineup already, but then he's going to have, and Fred's has the capacity to do all of this stuff that we had no idea. So we can have multiple microphones. It's going to be a production. We should have Renato. We should have Kevin Gosman. We should have Jared Mitchell. It'll be a bunch of, the old heads of baseball kind of talking about opening day. It should be electric.
The tent over at Fred's is massive. I mean, like it is. When you're standing underneath it, we were over there yesterday getting set up, and I mean, you're there with nobody inside of it. You can see the full capacity of it. I mean, it is wedding style, like big Southern wedding style tents that are open. I mean, so even if the weather is, it's supposed to be pretty good today, though.
Yeah, it's opening day weather, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday it was a little rainy.
Get it out the way. Tarp the field, I'd imagine, just in case.
They tarped the field.
They did?
I think the field's tarped. Yes.
Yeah, get it ready.
But if you're looking to start your pregame very early, and this is going to be on schedule. Every Friday of home baseball games, Mic'd Up is going to originate from Fred's in Tigerland. There's some construction going on right there over the bridge, so it's kind of tough to get to. So if you're
don't pitch it
thinking
like
about
that, it's easy to go around the back way, dude.
Yeah, just take River Road.
Yeah, just go River Road.
River Road, Brightside, Charlo, you're there.
Easy to get to.
But you just can't get there from Nicholson anymore.
No, you got to go like around in Alvin Dark and then back around. Did you know that all of those streets are named after former like LSU athletes? Yeah. It's interesting.
Alvin Dark's back there. I think there's Jim Taylor.
There's Jim Taylor. There's like Bob Pettit's over there, I believe. Yeah.
Y.A. Tittle.
Yes. And then I don't know. It seems like they would have built more things around that. If their plan has changed, because that was supposed to be if you're naming streets after people, it seems like that would have been like a place where you would want to hub like college kids.
Yeah.
And it didn't really turn into like housing for college kids at all.
No.
Tough walk from the bars back in the day.
Yeah, you better watch yourself. Better watch yourself.
Making a lot of friends while I'm walking. How you doing?
Yeah, right. Everybody good?
All my money is in the bar. I left it all there.
That's right.
Don't have anything.
Y'all come with me?
Opening day is such a special day here in Baton Rouge because of the lore of LSU baseball, the reputation of LSU baseball, and who what the program is. And now for so long it has been just a part of the culture, a part of what we do down here. And I mean, I can remember being a kid showing up and hearing the Batman theme of Todd Walker walking up, and Rush Johnson and Jason Williams and all those guys back in the day that really are kind of the faces on the wall of LSU baseball getting to the point where they are today. And opening day always really stands out as almost the arrival, and springtime is here, and LSU baseball. And now, I mean, think about it. You'll have 5 games a week of LSU baseball. I mean, this schedule with Maine this weekend, you have the opening 3, and then you travel to Ruston on Wednesday night. I was on Monroe Radio yesterday afternoon.
Ball?
Not talking ball, but just talking about from their point of view. I mean, that thing's sold out already. I mean, they're waiting on LSU to get there in the midweek, and they're ranked top 15 in the country, right? I mean, they were hosting regionals last season up at Louisiana Tech and Ruston. So they're building the baseball pride up there, and with LSU bringing the brand up there and only Jay Johnson's 4th game, it'll be interesting to see how the opening week goes.
If he didn't understand what LSU baseball is about, he'll get a heavy dose of it when he goes up to Rusty. It's like, oh, it's not just LSU, it's the whole state of Louisiana that wants to play baseball. And by that I mean everybody's going to take their best shot at LSU for the midweek games, not only in-state teams, but most certainly in-state teams. They treat that like it's a regional or a super regional in the midweek, and that's why people get upset that LSU loses midweek games. But the teams they play, they throw their ace because they think it means something for them to get that win. Like if LSU strolls into town, those teams are throwing their ace while LSU's trying to just get through a midweek and figure it out.
Yeah. So
it just said that Jay Johnson will figure that out Wednesday, especially if they lose. Stay away from Tiger droppings.
Yeah, for sure.
First piece of advice, Jay.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Unlike P Money.
Yeah, now P Money can surf though. I wonder if P Money would become a poster now.
What would be his screen name?
P Money.
It can't be. It can't be Paul. Oh, it's Paul.
I mean, almost you have to just kind of beat him with the obvious, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like PM1. No way this is
Yeah, this
Maneri.
is Palmineri.
Yeah, right.
No way.
Hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. Over here at the Jordy Culotta Show, we're going to talk to Ben Mintz before we get out of here at 9 a.m. We also got our Foodie Friday segment coming up at 8:30 and mic'd up, going live today from Fred's, which is really exciting stuff for FM Digital Media. LSU football released their spring practice schedule and spring game as well as the pro day schedule. Practices are going to start March 24th, so just about a month from now, with practices going on the 26th, starting on the 26th and going through April 22nd. The spring game will be on April 23rd, and pro day will be held on April 6th for LSU. So just some dates of interest coming up for the Tigers as we'll start to see Brian Kelly get on the field. I'm looking forward to spring football, to getting out there and watching Brian Kelly really coach this group. You hadn't heard much from Kelly, which I kind of like.
I was going to say, I think that's good.
I agree. And look, I think that this is a little twofold because people have asked, where is Brian Kelly? And he didn't even wrap up the recruiting class. You know, like most people will have like this.
He did it on Twitter.
Yeah, most people will have like this press conference and just read down the list and, you know, talk about the players. And, you know, Kelly, the last time you heard from Kelly was the bowl game, obviously, when he stopped into the booth there. But like from
He kind of crushed it.
a press, yeah, he did. From a press standpoint, was the press conference. I mean, like that's the only time I can think of him being at a podium.
And he didn't really say anything.
As the LSU head football coach.
Do you think that's a part of his like personality?
So like, I think it's twofold. I think LSU is probably like, look, let's keep him out of the spotlight right now because we don't want to answer all the questions around LSU, whether it's the roster management, something about football, or it could be something like ancillary, exterior of just investigations, Title IX, firings, personnel not being there anymore, support staff, all that stuff. I think LSU is
the baggage it comes with the
relationship.
relationship.
Absolutely. Or just the baggage of putting him out there, that it's not just going to be about football. You know, I mean, it's going to be about, or it potentially could be about a lot more than that. And I think that Brian Kelly is not he's not a press conference liability.
No.
Like, I don't think that he'll ever say anything that's going to get LSU, himself, or his team in trouble. You know, Ogeron and Miles were a gamble. Every time they went out there, you just never knew what could, something could happen. They might say something.
They did say something.
A lot of the time.
A lot of the times.
You know what I mean? So for
it.
people like Michael Bonnet, who's the sports information director, and people in that office, I'd imagine that it's much more of a soothing, relaxing job as far as that part goes. It's still very stress and high anxiety on certain parts, but as far as the management of the head football coach, is the most powerful character, maybe in the state, definitely on campus, handles himself just from a PR standpoint. So I think that Kelly could handle everything if he was to go out there, but LSU's just like, you know what?
You don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, just let's not subject what we're.
Because what difference does it make? Like, what do you have to lose by throwing him out there if you have? I'm sure that when Brian Kelly got here, it wasn't exactly the LSU that he was pitched. You know, there were probably some things that they needed to clean up in-house that he was like, oh, this is worse than I imagined type deal, you know, where it's like, oh, okay, this is where the bodies are buried. You get it's like becoming the president, right? You get like a little debriefing of here are the codes. This is Area 51. It's real. Like all of the stuff that you thought was true is probably true.
Here's the code to the safe.
Right. And so like you don't get all that information, then you put them out there in the public. Like, all right, digest all this, take it in. This is what you will never, ever answer a question about. You know, this is when you keep it moving. This you can talk about. So I'd imagine he gets all that debriefed, and then what do you really have to talk about at this point? Like the point of recruiting, like recapping a recruiting class, like Ed Orgeron would do that and just read 6'2", 250. It's like, okay, I can go to the game notes and get that information myself.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I don't think that Brian Kelly wants to be out there.
It's a waste of his time.
It is. And from everything that I've learned of Kelly being on campus, much more of just a task-oriented, knockdown, checklist type guy, and just getting a lot of work done behind the scenes with LSU football. I mean, they're bringing in a lot of talented people, man. You see the amount of people that they're stacking in the recruiting department. I just think that there are under Brian Kelly's leadership, we're about to start to see a lot of all of this start to take shape. Of what the program is going to look like, feel like, and
the results will speak for themselves, I guess, is what he's imagining. Like the work, I don't have to say anything to prove to you that I've been working. Like here, you'll see the product on the field whenever it comes together. But do you think that it has caused? Obviously, we saw some media members tweet out that he hasn't been to the podium and hasn't really forged a relationship with anybody in the media. Does that help or hurt him in any way? Because you've covered coaches and
I don't think for a personality like Kelly that concerns him. When I think of
LSU's never really had it like a real. I mean, since Nick seemed like a dick,
right,
know,
or just somebody that doesn't care,
right?
I was watching over the last couple of days, Man in the Arena with Tom Brady.
You dog,
it's awesome.
How did you get
ESPN Plus?
I don't have it.
I'll get you the code.
Let's go.
It's unbelievable. It's amazing. The access and the stories, and Brady's a great storyteller. You know what I mean? Like his recall, is as good as you think it would be. You know what I mean? Like he still remembers the opening play of the last drive of Super Bowl 2001, New Orleans, his first one.
That we were watching?
Calls it like Brad Johnson called the play that day when, you know what I mean? Just X over Y flat. Just da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Is he got on to it?
Yep. Just rattles it off. But the way that he's able to like take you back, all the man in the arena is kind of just a recap of Brady's career through his eyes with the footage. You know what I mean? Like it's incredible B-roll and content with Tom Brady over as telling the stories, and then they like bring in the ancillary figures, the outside figures, like when they're talking to the Giants, Strahan's sitting there talking, and when they're talking,
they got everybody.
They got everybody. I mean, this is Tom Brady, I think, showing you the media company that he wants to create. A lot of it will be kind of this type of flow, this type of content. And if you have not seen The Man in the Arena, I believe it's available on Hulu. I'm watching it through ESPN Plus. It's must watch. It is must watch.
Why do you think it didn't get quite the fanfare that maybe The Last Dance did? Are they cursing in it? Is it like
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No, Brady. Every other word he's F.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that in him,
and he's very natural with it. You know what I mean? You can see like in his everyday language, he's probably every other word. But I mean, like, it is must watch from just the standpoint of Brady talking football. I mean, really. I mean, to hear him talk the game and talk about team and being a leader and seeing all that taking shape is an incredible access. I mean, it just, the access that he allows it's must watch. And but as I was trying to bring this full circle, Bill Belichick is obviously a lot of the feature in Man in the Arena, especially the early portions of it. And we know Nick Saban from being in this market and following the SEC and following Alabama. And Brian Kelly, they all feel very similar in the sense of how they feel and how they deal with the press and with the media. I think they use it very strategically, and they use it almost as a way to communicate with their team. And from Kelly's standpoint, there's nothing to say to his squad right now. I don't think that he has anything to go out there and say. And when it's time to talk, I think that he will. And, for people, even some people like us, who count on content to be created by LSU football so we can talk about it, more for the writers, the people that have daily deadlines that they have to create new stories and they need things to talk about. I mean, how many times can you break down the transfer portal and how successul they were? How many times
the roster,
can you talk about the roster and the new coaches and what to expect and, go through the schedule and give your all of the
life
hits.
Tough for kind of everyone.
So, I mean, they're just from the media standpoint, I understand their frustration in the sense of give us something.
He'll have to address the media before spring ball, though, right?
We don't know. I mean, does he?
I thought that he would evaluate or give an evaluation of his recruiting class. You know, I mean, I think it's a little not surprising, but I mean, just from
It's
what you're
something that's
used
never
to,
happened before,
from what you're
right?
used to, it's different. I mean, you've always seen coaches kind of wrap up their recruiting class, and for Brian Kelly not to do that, you know, I mean, it's just like he ain't worried about it. You know what I mean? Like he's not worried about the press and getting out there and talking about it. He knows what he's got.
Well, I think he's kind of had the first one in a while that has the cachet a little bit to not have to do that. It felt like Orgeron was always out to prove himself because he felt like the world was against him, that he didn't think he would get the job. I got the job, and here's me proving to you why I got the job every time I step in front of a microphone. Les Miles was an outsider that came in without the same resume as Kelly, so he wanted to go out there, and then people loved the personality. So I'd imagine LSU football probably put him out there more times than they should have, just because it was a great way to make LSU get national attention. Now Brian Kelly says, we don't need all that. If we go and win football games, you don't have to hear from me. You know, he's made one off-color joke once, and that was last year whenever they put a microphone in his face, but that's really his only blunder, and that was him just trying to be funny. So I don't think he'll go down that road again, but I think he's going to let LSU football speak for itself.
Anybody see Saban speaking last night to the Alabama Football Coaches Association and the rounds that this was making on social media and some of the messages that he was talking about? I think, Saban in these rooms can be incredible. I mean, he can be so personable, and it shows really why he's so likable, on the recruiting trail. I mean, the stories that you hear about inside the home and inside people's living room and with coaches and high school coaches and players all over the place is that, in a one-on-one recruiting environment, he's as good as there is. And you kind of saw that last night as he's walking around the Alabama Coaches Association meetings with a microphone in his hand, just kind of free-flowing through the room. And he was telling a lot of cool stories, man. He told, he was talking about some leadership stuff. He was talking about some opportunities from the BCS game, or not the BCS game, from the college football championship game.
Bring it back.
Yeah, why not? Between Georgia and Alabama, about guys going to work every day and not taking advantage of their opportunities. And once their opportunity popped, they just weren't ready to go. And he kind of gave the examples of three positions in Alabama's national championship versus Georgia that jumped out to him. And then he talked a little bit about Henry Ruggs, which is really making the rounds on social media. Obviously, Ruggs was the first-round pick of the Las Vegas Raiders earlier this year. Was going, traveling at 156 miles an hour down a residential street.
Place you can't be going that fast.
I mean, you can't go that fast anywhere, but I mean, he was like in a neighborhood almost, with his girlfriend in the car, getting a wreck, kill somebody, DWI. He's going to jail for a long time. Saban kind of lays it out and talks about how Ruggs, was never in trouble at Alabama, always a good kid and doing what he was supposed to do. And but it was, even from a parent standpoint, I thought it was something that we all needed to hear. I mean, whether it's somebody like us who's starting a company over here at FM Digital Media, or you go home and you're a parent and you have to be an example and you have to have some type of principle to be and base those examples off of. Saban told a great story about, sometimes it's not cool to step up and say, "Hey, man, let me get those keys," or let me call you an Uber, let me call you a driver. But he related it to leadership, and he kind of used friendship as the story path of people who were around Ruggs that night, had a great opportunity to be leaders and be good friends and step up and tell the guy, "Hey, don't do this." I mean, you probably will make it home. Nothing will probably happen, but there's that percentage chance that this drive home could change your life. And, he kind of went back and said, how much do you think Ruggs would have appreciated that if he would just listen to somebody, or if somebody would have stepped up? I can't do the story justice telling it secondhand, but it's easy to find Saban speaking at last night's Alabama Coaches Association, and seeing him in the middle of that room and just kind of walk around and tell stories free-flowingly was easy to see why he's so effective in recruiting, in my opinion. of just the relatability. It was good stuff, man. I just think I saved it. I downloaded it and emailed it to myself just to have on file to always kind of go back. And I think it's a very humbling and, keep people accountable type story. And coming from him, I mean, it was powerful in that room.
Well, that's where he shines, right? Like, it's not something that you would think that he would be really good at. It's almost like we talk about Brian Kelly now, but if Brian Kelly can rattle off multiple national championships and become probably the face of college football like Nick Saban has, every time he walks into a room, the words he says are powerful. Like, people take heed to or put credence behind everything Nick Saban says, right? But he has taken that approach, and he's gotten so comfortable doing it that now he used to be, it's almost like Tiger Woods in a way, where he used to be such a dominant force and nobody wants to F with me, like, don't get in Nick Saban's way, whatever. But then as he's gotten older, he's become more personable and is sharing more stories, and it's almost made him better. This version of Nick Saban is better than the previous version.
Sure.
Where it's more like he's almost relatable, and you look up to him in a way, as opposed to, you don't really want to be like Nick Saban. He's win at all costs. And now he's telling you the stories of how I got to this point and how you can actually help people from the positions you're in. It's as much as we don't want to like Nick Saban, but if he was doing this with LSU, I mean, we talk about Bob Pettit, he'd have streets named after him.
Yeah, and look, I don't want it to make it seem like he wasn't holding Ruggs accountable. He did say, like, it's Ruggs' choice, and he was just talking about the leadership of it. And I think there are.
I mean, he was kind of pitching Alabama in a sense. If you want to read between the lines, he's like, there's a reason this didn't happen when he was at Alabama.
Sure.
Because we hold everybody, like, in the room accountable. We know that you got your back, and if you need help, you call me. Like, that's kind of the way they do things there. But the NFL is a totally different bag of eggs, especially when you put a rookie in Las Vegas, in Las Vegas's first year in the NFL. It could have happened to anybody, probably.
Oof, gosh.
I mean, that's a terrible scenario. I don't know if the NFL really thought it through, but they knew that the light at the end of the tunnel was green as hell, and so they said, let's see what happens, because there's only money to be made. They just got in with gambling. Let's put a team in Las Vegas. Let's see how that could go wrong. And then you give these rookies, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids $15 million to start their year to say, hey, and you live in Las Vegas. Like, that's just a recipe that we all thought maybe would be this one.
City Cafe. It was good to be over at City Cafe yesterday with our friend Squeaky Miranda and the crew. Cody Miranda over there taking care of us with the entire team. Took everybody over there for lunch yesterday to show the appreciation of what we got going over here at FM Digital Media. Great lunch specials. It was easy to sit down over there. They put us at an 8-top table in the corner, man, and we shared some good stories and talked about the future of what we got coming up over here over a really good meal, great service, in a cool environment. That's what you get when you go over to City Cafe. O'Neill and George O'Neill, for over 100 years, they've been in business. CityCafeBR.net. CityCafeBR.net is where you can find them online. They got daily lunch specials, as we said, that you can shop right there online and find out what they are before you show up. And if you're looking for a place to brunch this weekend, check them out. They open up at 10 o'clock in the morning on Sundays. City Cafe, CityCafeBR.net, as they are bringing you the Jordy Culotta Show every day here. LSU women's basketball continued their hot streak last night as they took down Mississippi State 71-59. This extends the Lady Tigers' win streak to 5 games, which moves them to 22-4 on the season. They're 10-3 in conference play and tied for second in the SEC behind South Carolina, who sits there at 12-1. LSU Tigers closed on a 17-3 run. If you were watching that game, and I was just kind of scrolling through Twitter last night and saw that they were going to the fourth quarter and LSU was up 2, and to see the way that they ended the game on, just kind of running past Mississippi State at 71-59. That was good to see them in the fourth quarter playing that much better. Alexis Morris, who was named SEC Player of the Week on Tuesday, led the team with 23 points and 2 boards. She has scored 20-plus points in the last 5 of LSU's 6 games. She's averaging 22.2 points, nearly 22 points a game. She's averaging 22 points a game, nearly 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal per game, while shooting 61% from the three-point line in those games. She is on fire right now. Alexis Morris, the transfer out of Texas A&M, really leading Kim Mulkey's crew. 71-59 winners last night. LSU's going to host Florida on Sunday, and it's official. Sold-out crowd. I know Mulkey was here yesterday urging the crew to get out there, but they will cap it off on Sunday in front of a sold-out audience inside of the Maravich Center, as LSU will host Florida this Sunday, looking to improve to 11-3 in the conference after last night's win over Mississippi State.
I don't know much about women's basketball. I'm not going to lie. Is UConn still the top dog with Gino and Paige? What's her name? Paige Beckers. Is that is it unfathomable for LSU to make a run in the tournament and get in, be way ahead of schedule, or is it just get in, maybe win a game and that's it?
AP top 25's got South Carolina number 1, an SEC team, and they almost had them. Stanford 2, Louisville 3, NC State 4, and Indiana 5. UConn's 10, right in front of LSU. LSU's 11.
LSU has a better record too.
In fact, LSU right now at 11 is sandwiched by UConn and Tennessee. Tennessee's 12.
The two powers back
Tennessee
in the day.
is 12 and UConn is 10. LSU's 11.
Who knows?
How many? Baylor's 7.
That won't last for long. You wouldn't think, right? That's everybody she couldn't get over.
Mulkey's old squad.
That's the Les Miles effect.
Top 10 of women's college basketball: South Carolina, Stanford, Louisville, NC State, Indiana, Iowa State, Baylor, Arizona, Michigan, UConn.
Wow.
So, the game's spread out pretty much all over the country.
Parity.
Not a lot of SEC teams.
Paige Buckers is hurt.
What happened?
There we go.
Does it say?
I'm going to check you on that. I think it's an ankle, though.
Basketball.
Yeah.
And she just gave all those shoes to her teammates.
Did you see Anthony Davis? His ankle?
I watched it live.
No.
And then,
she returned to practice Wednesday.
They're about to make a run.
Little tournament run.
Unbelievably
she is.
Good. Maya Moore-esque a little bit.
Simone?
Oof. See? No. I don't want to give her that credit yet.
Not yet.
It was a knee injury.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Maya Moore was the most comparable to Simone in my mind. She was kind of much must-watch basketball.
What?
She played like a guy. She could kind of do whatever she wanted on the basketball court, kind of like Simone, where it's just you're just better than everybody. It looks different.
It's the ball handling for Simone that set her apart. When she could handle the ball like an NBA point guard, legitimately. When she was at Capital, she had elite ball handling skills. She could make people look foolish on the basketball floor. I still remember going and watching Simone play in the dungeon, which is are we buffering or am I buffering?
We're good on this end.
Good on mine too.
We good? Okay.
Torn ACL? Says Noah.
Yeah, I don't think so, Noah.
Or there might have been a torn ACL. She's making her way back.
Oh. Yeah. Well, see, I told you we didn't know what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have let us down.
We're in choppy waters right here.
We are. Steer out.
We're in choppy waters. Back her out. Back them out. Back them out.
So, Kim Mulkey, Sweet 16?
I would think so.
I
wouldn't bet. She has almost a Burrow feel to her.
Everything she touches is gold.
Almost everything she touches feels like a winner. You know what I mean? Because I wonder how good really LSU is from a personnel standpoint. You know what I mean? They're doing it majority with guard play. As far as a balanced team, personnel standpoint, from a roster's point of view, next year's recruiting class, once she starts to get these kids rolling in, I'm telling you, 3 years from now, she'll be in the Natty.
Well, I was about to put it on the poll. There was a question asked yesterday, but I'll put it on the poll today. First coach to win
that one.
A national championship at LSU, which would be the first. Do you want to put Will Wade or the first of the new coaches?
No, you can throw Wade in there. Okay. Southern Eye Center poll question of the day, which means if you get over to Southern Eye Center located on Jefferson Highway and mention the Jordy Culotta Show, you get 25% off of 25% off of sunglass selection over there at the Southern Eye Center shop with Dr. Ann Shaw. Stop in and see him. Jefferson Highway. Mention the Jordy Culotta Show. 25% off of sunglasses selection. First to win a national championship on LSU's campus. Brian Kelly, Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson. Throw in Will Wade in there just for another option. But I would vote on Mulkey. I think that Mulkey, you can see here in year one how much coaching matters to any sport, but Mulkey is a great example on how good coaching can put you over the top, even with a, no defense, but or no offense, a mediocre roster. A roster that she had to put together kind of late in the process, with transfers, and she still hadn't had an opportunity to have her first recruiting cycle. So you got the coach, and once she starts to get the players, she's got an incredible recruiting class already signed. She's making a ton of splashes and waves on future recruiting classes. I think within 3 years, she's in the Final Four. So 2 years from now, really. You've already got her first year pretty much, 3/4 of the way in the tank. The next 2 seasons, over the next 2 years, I would think that she would be.
It's like the Will Wade timeline.
Yeah.
Where they're good this year, but wait for next year almost, because he's built a stable of recruits that are coming into LSU, and he was on the radio yesterday saying that, I don't know what recruit he was talking about, I don't know if he can say, but he said, let him pick the uniforms. If you want to come to LSU, you can wear whatever you want. Like, that's how he's getting players here, and he is not afraid to pretty much throw anything on the table to get them to LSU. So it's actually probably going to be a tight race between Will Wade, Kim Mulkey. Jay Johnson has brought in kind of like the Kim Mulkey effect with the transfer portal, has brought in people that are going to start day one, and you'll see it today.
Yeah, no doubt. You'll see the Jay Johnson effect immediately tonight at the box with. I cannot wait to watch this lineup.
I want to see what the lineup is.
Me too.
How is he going to place these pieces? Because Mikey said Dugas might bat 9-hole.
This is incredible.
Who would want to see this dude in a 9-hole?
That's like a back-to-back leadoff. That's like
the old double leadoff.
Yeah, the old double leadoff guy.
I like it.
I love a strong 9-hole hitter. You just can't hide. Nobody can hide from LSU's lineup. And, when you just think about some of the options that they have, I can't wait to see what Johnson thinks is his best 9 to roll out on opening night and see how he kind of places them. It is, like he said, from a pitching standpoint, going to be really interesting to see how this stuff goes down with the pitching and how he manages the first week. Because, like we said, and he said yesterday, it's more the quantity over the quality right now. I think that there's quality within the group. They just have to find out who the quality is with, game time. And you've got options. You got a lot of guys. But how quality are the arms? I think that they're about to start to find out, and how they manage them this week to get to Louisiana Tech, get through Louisiana Tech, and get to Ruston on the midweek. Is really going to be interesting to watch and see.
Have you had a coach that's come in with this much fanfare before he's ever coached a game for LSU? Because it feels like Jay Johnson is, I know, obviously, like I said, he hasn't coached yet, but it feels like he's already ingratiated himself to LSU, and they already like him. Like, the fan base already believes in Jay Johnson, what LSU baseball can do, and that's kind of rare to see from LSU. They usually kind of make you prove it. And he's kind of waltzed in and said, well, here's Jacob Berry, here's these other pieces I'm adding. And, he's crushed every interview he's been on. So people are just gravitating toward him and saying LSU has a chance to go to Omaha, and they haven't even played yet, with a whole new roster and a whole new coaching staff that we've never seen before.
I've never seen a coach come in here with this much expectation. But I've never seen – I don't think that you'll find a coach in a first year that gets this good of a team.
That's transfer portal then. Right?
No, the roster was kind of set for it.
You think about, you had Trey Morgan, you had Dylan Cruz, you had Blake Money, you had Jordan Thompson. This roster is even if you don't
Cade Doty,
even if you don't bring Barry with you, let's say that Barry's not even an option. You still look at the LSU job and you're like, they look ready to go. They almost look ready to go next year. If you can make and make a couple of things happen, tinker around. You might be able to make a run. You add Barry into the lineup with a guy like Cruz and Morgan already there, and Cade Doty, and now you're talking about a potential top offense in the sport. Really, I can't. Not that I know the ins and outs of everybody's lineup in college baseball. I just can't. They had 3 Golden Spikes Awards winner, and none of them are pitchers. You know what I mean? Like they're all hitters. So it's. I just it's going to be interesting to see what he does tonight.
Oh yeah, I only asked because I remember when we were going through this coaching search, like we were talking about it, trying to figure out who the candidates were, who would be the next hire. Obviously, we were a Tony Vitello for a while because of the Italiano. We wanted to back our guy. But Jay Johnson was off the board. Like, he was not a name that you would have picked. And then he comes into LSU, and it is kind of met with, oh, who's this guy? Like, Scott Woodward goes, everybody go left, Scott Woodward goes right. And you start digging into his resume, like, oh, man, he was pretty impressive. Got Arizona to Omaha in his first year there, then fell off a little bit, then started recruiting back. But it's just, I don't know where the expectations were before this, and then he adds Jacob Berry, and it seemed like everything kind of started to snowball to, holy shit, Jay Johnson might be a guy.
Yeah.
Like, he started getting on the microphone, he was mic'd up at practices, like, this guy loves ball. But it's just interesting because LSU usually doesn't let you get in this easily, especially if you weren't the top-tier guy that they had selected to be the coach.
Yeah.
From the fans' perspective.
No, I agree. Johnson is it's going to be fun to watch him get going, get moving, as he's got his team opening night here versus Maine coming up here tonight. All right, the Carpool Queen just walked in. We'll reset and get ready for hour 2. Ben Mintz is coming up here in about 12 minutes. We'll talk to him at 8 a.m. this morning. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew over there at RMB Builders, rmb-builders.com. Rhett Bourgeois can do anything from build you a brand new house, a custom design home, to a restoration. If you need anything remodeled or redone around your house, get in touch with RMB Builders. rmb-builders.com. rmb-builders.com is where you find them. And get in touch with Rhett and the crew over there. All right, we'll talk to Ben Mintz coming up here at 8 o'clock. Katie is here. We'll reset the set and get going here for
the Mississippi State
She's in her Mississippi State Blacks. She's in the All Blacks.
Can't catch a break on those vets. Triple or nothing.
David looked at me like, should we watch that game last night? He shook his head.
Triple or nothing.
On what?
I don't know. Maybe a full football uniform to a game.
Shoulder
helmet,
pads.
shoulder pads.
We got the LSU helmet.
We got the
LSU
tape.
helmet. I love it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it can.
Triple or nothing.
Triple or nothing.
Got to get you a hat.
All right, hold tight. We'll be right back here with more of the Jordy Culotta Show.
Is that even a thing, triple or nothing?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I've never heard of it.
Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show as we are live here, powered and driven by Go Chevrolet, our friends over at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com. You can find them in LaPlace, brand new car lot over there, used car lot right here in Baton Rouge at Go Express Auto Sales on the corner of Florida Boulevard and Sherwood Forest. All right, tough one last night for the Lady Bulldogs.
It was tough, but I mean, great
as
game.
they are down 2 going into the fourth, where it looks like they had an opportunity to make it a game and maybe even pull away with it, but
you don't bet against Kim Mulkey.
Kim
is
Mulkey
the lesson I learned, right?
Goes Mulkey.
Y'all were friends too.
I know.
17-3 run at the end of the game is enough to get the win for LSU and leave you 0-2 in the last 2 bets that you have placed on your alma mater.
Close each time. So
Close in Vegas counts for pay me at the window.
You're right. You're right. I have learned. People are like, why are you being so dumb? How could you do this? And I'm like, I mean, I have faith in the Bulldogs, clearly.
Would the spread have made a difference in this game?
Not
okay,
in this
because
game,
the
I
other
guess.
one,
the other game,
you would have covered about 1.
I know.
People were railing on me about that. Like, why didn't you go the spread?
And I think we actually talked the scenario.
We clarified.
about
Do
it.
you want to do the spread here?
We did say that. And I said no.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm owning it. Like, clearly, I did this.
What are your feelings on it? Where are you with this? Do you realize? I mean, a full jersey was fine.
A jersey was fine.
Full regalia
is weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
Strange.
It's weird.
It is strange.
It's a weird look to
just
do.
When you walk in, people are going to be like,
yeah.
What is she doing?
They
Who
are.
is this
I mean,
lady?
I have to hope that my friends will support me and go with me, walk in
We'll
with
be
me.
there.
Well, I meant my Mississippi
everybody
friends.
walk up to the gate at the same time and then everybody hang back, let her walk
Y'all-
around.
I know that's what y'all would do. Y'all would make this worse somehow.
You need to do like the real Slim Shady and get all of your friends to dress up in uniform.
There's in an LSU uniform.
No, well, maybe, but
There's
even
no
Mississippi
way.
State uniform, just to kind of lessen the blow of
Maybe.
one girl in full uniform out there. You'll stick out like a thumb.
You
Yeah.
will.
I will. Absolutely will.
This is gonna be great.
One of my good friends was a diamond girl, though, for the Mississippi State team when we were in college. So she'll have, I don't even know if she'll be seen with me. Huge baseball girl. Their Christmas card this year was about us being national champions. That was the highlight of their year.
I mean, Katie was excited when she was watching the game. She was like, Mississippi State's never won anything. She watched every pitch.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I think is getting lost in this, is you actually are a big Mississippi State supporter.
I don't think that's lost on anyone.
Well, the fact that you would agree to this is
Oh, yeah.
admirable.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought at home, I guess I really thought at home the women's team would maybe pull it off because they've been playing really well.
And
So,
here you are in full
here I
baseball
am.
uniform
Here I
at the
am.
Dude on a Friday night
Here
with
I
the
am.
Jordy Culotta show.
That should maybe
in
be
the suites.
that could be your Christmas card. Really?
What could that
Full-
photo?
A full LSU
baseball uniform.
uniform.
Good. I do like to do weird Christmas cards, so that's true. That could be a good
That's
one.
a great one. I love it.
Daily, we're brought to you by Edward Jones and Daniel Newman.
It's going to be ridiculous.
Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com is how you get in touch with Daniel if you're looking for a financial advisor. Remember, he can help you out with just any question that you may have, whether it be questions or questions concerning your investment strategy, or if you have some questions about your 401k or Social Security or anything that you may have in working up in the plant industry, you can get in touch with Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. He's located in central Louisiana, out there on Magnolia Square, right across the street from Stabs. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com.
We got it working.
Wow.
What's going to happen?
All right.
This is the phone for when they come in to cook the food for Foodie Friday. We will be able to go into the kitchen, dude, if you want to see what
We need to put it on a selfie
Yeah,
stick.
we need to put it on
something to
a gimbal.
stabilize it.
Yes. This is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Technology.
That is. People are like, why are y'all so excited?
Well,
This is a
you find
big
out
step
something
for
new
us.
every day, dude.
It's a big step for
Get
us.
1% better every day.
That's right.
Yes, there we go.
All right, make sure you hit that like button, share button, comment button, as we will have our Foodie Friday segment coming up here at about 8:30. Ben Mintz is going to join us here at 8 a.m. As Mincy will be here talking some of the picks for the weekend. This college baseball news, Mincy's going to be at the box this afternoon. He's not going to make it in time to be at Fred's. We'll be at Fred's from 3:30 to 5:30 with Mic'd Up. So if you're looking for a place to pregame, come check us out at Fred's in Tigerland. That'll be every home game on Baseball Fridays for Mic'd Up and FM Digital Media over at Fred. So
until the lockout is lifted, and I guess you might have to pick up the torch.
That's cool. I'll do it. Hopefully that's like SEC time.
I know some things about what we're talking about.
Here, pass the baton, bro. But it's if you're looking for a place to pregame, come check it out over there at Fred's. But going to talk to Mintzy about possibly some college baseball lines.
Do you think they'll ever get to where you can bet on series?
I do.
They have futures out right now for appearances in the College World Series and to win the College World Series, but nothing as of yet for if you can gamble on the Friday night game, the Saturday night game, who's going to win the series, stuff like that. So if Mintzy has that information or that kind of pool at Barstool Sports to be able to get them to create lines for baseball, that would be incredible. Because then I'll really be watching.
Is this a series this weekend? Maine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't imagine if you were a sports book and you don't look at SEC baseball and look at just the attendance alone. That you don't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just the SEC. That you don't look at just the attendance alone at series and say, look at everybody there. Let's put some lines on this thing. You know what I mean? Like, put a spread out there. There's so many people there. There's obviously passion and interest behind it. And see what happens. I mean, I think that college baseball gambling could be monstrous in the Southeastern Conference, like huge, where potentially they might be. I mean, you might start handicapping midweek games. You know, I mean, where it's because it's just
so much.
It's like the NFL. It'll be like the NFL down here. I mean, think about like at Arkansas and Ole Miss and LSU and Mississippi State and Florida. I mean, there's programs in this conference that are supported, die-hard fan base. And Florida's not a good one, but all those other ones. College Station, Texas A&M.
Can you do prop bets in baseball like you do in football?
Sure.
Like just random prop bets, they do that?
They can.
For college baseball?
I don't know you can do anything right now for college baseball. I think right now that Mintz is kind of pushing, hey, we need to start handicapping college baseball. You know, you need to start putting some spreads out there and giving people an opportunity to bet on it because...
No one ever does?
No.
You don't bet on college baseball?
You can't.
You can't.
There's no real
literally
lines out there.
There's no service out there that provide because there's nobody boots on the ground that's like, hey, LSU's minus 120 because they've got they got Blake Money scouted. You know what I mean? Like in other years, I mean, people know about Landon Marceau, people know about Jaden Hill, people know about Kevin Gosman, people know about, all these headline pitchers, but not everybody knows the day in, day out.
Nobody knows who the starter for Maine is.
Right.
Nobody.
I mean, Jay Johnson doesn't even know who LSU's third starter is. You know? I mean, like, he's TBA on his third guy right now. So, I mean, the handicappers are like, you're just pulling numbers out of the air.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, because all baseball handicapping is done on the pitcher.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, like, it's just, you'll see some teams favored night in, night out, and you're like, how in the hell is that happening? But then you look up who the starting pitcher is, and the team that's favored with the worst record is throwing their ace against the team with the better record that's throwing their third or fourth guy out of the rotation. In college baseball, not a lot of people know even who their third guy is, like LSU. So if you're trying to handicap it, it kind of it ties your hands from the standpoint of how do you place a value on this of something that you really don't even know?
And they're more worried about the people that do know because there's a very small niche of people that are obsessed with college baseball, like to where they do know who the midweek starter for Nichols will be against LSU.
Absolutely.
And those are the people you're scared of.
Absolutely.
That will clean out Vegas because this is all I pay attention to. Like
you're giving me money on a Wednesday night,
and they don't even know it because they're like, oh, it's Southeastern versus LSU. LSU minus 2 runs, and it's like, well, Southeastern could win outright, and somebody will bet at money line because they know more about this than you do. And Vegas never puts themselves in that position, really.
Okay.
All right, we will get Ben Mintz on. We'll talk about that next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, the Southern Eye poll question of the day, the Southern Eye Center poll question of the day. Who will win a national championship first at LSU? Couple of selections there, including Brian Kelly, Jay Johnson, Kim Mulkey, Will Wade. Southern Eye Center located on Jefferson Highway. Mention the Jordy Culotta Show and you get 25% off of their sunglass selection over there with Southern Eye Center. When we come back, we'll talk to Ben Mintz here from Barstool Sports as we talk second hour here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Opening day at the box tonight. If you have an opening day story, jump inside of the chat room, jump inside of the chat and inside the bunker. and tell us some of your favorite your favorite
room.
opening day stories of LSU baseball as the Tigers will host Maine tonight. LSU and Maine 6:30 start, 3:30 to 5:30 over at Fred's. We'll be pre-gaming over there with mic'd up compliments of FM Digital Media and our friends over at Fred's. Come back with us here, 8 o'clock hour next here with Ben Mintz.
Do your kids, they don't have AIM, obviously, so everybody just texts?
Nobody has AIM.
Right, well, we didn't have cell phones back in my day.
Right, but...
So do they all have cell phones?
Yeah. Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, but as a parent, I'm not one.
Did I have a cell phone?
No,
yeah.
like your kids, like they obviously don't have the internet. Like they don't have AIM, or they have the internet, but they don't have instant messenger. That's not what they use.
Right. No, they don't use that.
So
they Snapchat.
They Snapchat and text.
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Snapchat more than text. Text is like if they need to talk immediately, and like somebody maybe doesn't have Snapchat open.
Then text is like emergency line.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
They don't even call each other anymore. They can't even talk. And when they get in person, they don't talk. They don't talk in person.
It's so weird.
It's so awkward.
They might have like a relationship with someone in Snapchat, and then we'll like be somewhere and pass that person. I'm like, oh, why don't you say hey? And they're like, so embarrassing. What? You're having like conversations with them all the time via text or Snapchat. How do we not have one in person? It's very strange.
It's the world.
I mean, we used to have to call the parents. Like, you'd call just the home phone.
Well, yeah.
And they would pick up, and you're like, all right, I'm talking to Mr. Gene.
Yeah.
And so I knew the parents, and then I would know, and I knew your kid, too.
Yes.
So that's how the relationship building.
I know.
I was worried for these kids.
I am, too, but they're doing it their own way, and that's kind of where the world's going. So what do? You got to embrace it.
Did you let them get a cell phone?
Well, since we're divorced people, I let him get it earlier than I would have, just for like to not be like texting the other parent's phone, being like "love you, good night," to Sophie's dad's phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that that's a big deal, but you know what I mean. So I don't know. I think they were around like 11, maybe 10 or 11, and we just had like tons of restrictions on it, and no social media, obviously, and then that all came later.
No answer.
No, but he texted me 10 minutes ago. He said he'd be ready.
Did y'all know that photographer who fell off the stage has injured her spine?
Oh,
fractured
her spine.
Isn't that awful?
I saw where Stafford picked up the medical bill.
Do you think he had to do that just because he turned around?
Yes. Because that's what everyone is talking about. It's such a bad look.
It's a bad look.
Well, there's another school of thought out there. Like, what can you do to help? Like, he's clearly intoxicated.
Yeah.
You just fell 8 feet onto the ground. Like, I didn't do anything. I'm levying myself away.
Hey,
from
buddy,
this.
hold tight. I think everybody can relate, not to like that, but like you've seen something, you're like, oh shit, I'm out of here. I don't even want to know that happened.
I'm not gonna hop down and help her.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna touch her. I don't know what happened.
Exactly. Just kind of, oof. Oh no.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Ben Mintz has been down in New Orleans the last couple of days. He's been tweeting out pictures from the Pelicans game, tweeting out pictures of places that he's eating. The New Orleans favorite son is back home for the next couple of days. He'll be down in Baton Rouge tonight. He'll be over at Fred's. I don't know if he'll be in time for our pregame coverage over there with mic'd up 3:30 to 5:30, but looking forward to catching up with Mintz.
I think there's a very strong possible appearance there.
Oh, let's go. That would be huge, buddy. We're going to be bringing some of the LSU baseball royalty through there, including Paul Maneri will be there at 4:30, and some other guys will be rolling through. If we could get Barstool's finest down, it would be incredible. Did I see you signing a bandana last night?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did. The Barstool stuff never ceases to amaze me, but we've had a thing where I've been somehow on the Yak, which Big Cat runs the show. They have a fast eating bananas thing that's become a thing, and I'm like the champion of it. And so, and then last week before the Super Bowl, they made me like just stand in the middle of the shower and like fast eat a banana, and it's become like kind of a culture thing. So I signed my first banana last night. So yeah.
What is it? Go ahead.
Jordy, and 199,000 views on that video.
No way.
Unreal.
Yeah.
What has it been like to be home?
Amazing. Look, I lived uptown New Orleans from 09 to 14. And it's just like nostalgia waves been hitting me real, real hard in the best way. Like you said, I'm trying to light my social media up, supporting, the good restaurants and everything going on. I was in TWITTA. I didn't even know Trombone Shorty was playing at Tips last night. I walked in at like 10:30 and he's just on the stage. I was in there until after midnight last night. Just loving it. I'm just trying to do everything I can though. Like I view the platform I have with Barstool, I get to show the nation like the good NOLA stuff, and so that's why I'm trying to create a firestorm on social media to support all those businesses. But it's been great. Pelicans game last night they lost, but dude, I don't know if you saw the show Luka Doncic put on.
Yeah.
Somebody needed to arrest that man. I mean, he had 19 in the first quarter, 49 in the game. He was unconscious in there last night. Even though the Pelicans lost, CJ McCollum threw up 36, and it was like Mardi Gras night. It was super fun there, and I'm stoked to get to Baton Rouge. I'm heading over there in a little while. Huge, college baseball opening day, beginning of the Jay Johnson era, and I know everybody at LSU is excited about the talent this year. I mean, y'all got like 4 guys. Y'all might have y'all first 4 hitters, might be 4 first-rounders, but whatever people have heard about Jacob Berry, prepare to hear a lot more. I mean, he literally. Like last year when he was in Arizona, he was 18 years old, and he looked like a 3-hole league hitter. I mean, you add him to Dylan Cruz and Dugas and Trey Morgan, and then, you still got Dowdy and Bledsoe and a bunch of other guys. I mean, this is going to be an offense that's going to score a whole crap ton of runs, and I'm looking forward to being in the box tonight for everything.
How good is Ole Miss going to be?
Well, Ole Miss and LSU are going to be mirror images because Ole Miss is going to score a crap ton of runs too. The entire offense, including Tim Elko, are back. Got an All-American shortstop and Jacob Gonzalez. I mean, the lineup's going to be 8 or 9 deep. But like LSU, the pitching staff's extremely unproven after losing Gunnar Hodlin and Doug Casey. The number 3 starter, Derek Diamond's the Friday night guy. They got a couple of transfers, one from Morgan State, one from A&M Corpus Christi, some young arms. So LSU and Ole Miss are going to be very similar. I saw Blake Money starting for LSU tonight. Both teams going to score a lot of runs while they figure out the pitching staff. So that's what it's going to come down to. But I saw on the college baseball national championship odds on the Barstool Sportsbook, we've got them up. LSU's 15-1 and Ole Miss is 18-1. So they're kind of going to be similar, it sounds like.
Mintz, we were talking about it last segment, and I think that you're probably going to be at the forefront of this, or at least somebody that can use as a voice to get this done. How close do you think that there is gaming opportunities on college baseball?
Oh, I think it's extremely I think it's very, very close. I mean, like I said, we have odds to win the national championship up. I believe it. I know our people are working on it, and I'm really probably annoying them a lot about it because I know how important it is, especially in Louisiana. A big part of my vision is now that our apps in Louisiana and Tennessee, college baseball, yeah, I mean, Illinois and Michigan and those states probably won't fire very big, but man, Louisiana especially, but also Tennessee, with the University of Tennessee, and I guess on a bandy to a lesser extent, that's a big part of what I want to do. And I had a big talk with Dave Portnoy about it at dinner last Saturday and told him, I'm like, I need your help getting on these guys. And Dave totally gets it. He wants the college. Obviously, as y'all saw in Omaha last year, he enjoys college baseball. So, I can't put a date on it, but I think it's coming very soon. I feel very good about it.
What did you make of the Super Bowl? Damn, Mitch, you crushed that banana in the shower.
I was sick for Joe because it's just the O-line thing. I mean, it just came down to they couldn't block him in the fourth quarter. I mean, that literally, if he'd had a little more time, I think they'd have won. I thought it was great game. Andrew Whitworth's day in West Monroe, Louisiana today, by the way.
Wow.
What a, 3 high school state titles, an LSU national title in 2003, a Super Bowl champ, Walter Payton Man of the Year, and the first 40-year-old left tackle in NFL history. Just got to give him a shout out for, repping Northeast Louisiana as good as anybody ever has. But yeah, I was bummed. I had a Bengals 18-1. The Bengals 18-1. I know, is Lloyd still celebrating in the studio all week after hitting his futures?
I was conflicted, Mitzi. I was excited for my 3 futures that I put on, unbeknownst to myself, 3 separate times. But I really was actually rooting for the Bengals, and I had a little future on them as well. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to give yourself a little pat on the back and an attaboy for collecting a check over here.
Yeah, I think so. And then Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald both. What can you even say? The Saints fan in me, though, just hates the Rams. And I know Whitworth's Northeast Louisiana guy. And I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for Matt Stafford after his career at Detroit. But, y'all know the Saints fans, we stay bitter, and we're going to stay bitter about 2018 forever. So the hell with them.
Mitzi, yeah, no doubt about it. How much do you believe that these streaming services are allowing leverage to people like Sean Payton and Sean McVay against franchises because of the money that they're throwing around in the broadcast world right now?
Oh, the Sean Payton stuff I hear, and I've got a pretty good source inside the Saints. I'm told quarterback won money $15 to $20 million. being offered possibly by Amazon. Like I've heard QB1 money. I think, but you can't blame him. I mean, 16 years, you do the year or two off thing, you retool. I mean, you can't fault him. It's what do they always say in life, Jordy? You're worth whatever someone will pay you. You know.
Right.
So can't fault them, but it is a real. It's going to be a real thing moving forward as the streaming stuff picks up. But yeah, I'm still. It's going to be so weird just not seeing him there. But what Saints ended up going with Pete Carmichael at OC. I don't hate it. I like the continuity thing. It's ultimately going to come down to the quarterback thing. I'm starting to think it's going to be Jameis more and more, to be honest.
Yeah, no, they showed him working out again. If you had to set a future over/under on the Saints win total for next year, where would you put it?
I mean, I think it'd be a real similar to what this year was, 8.5. Because here's the thing about the Saints: the NFC South is a just on fire trash can right now. I mean, it's the ghost of Matt Ryan in Atlanta. Tampa Bay claiming they may go with Kyle Trask. Who knows? You look at that. Carolina has potential on D, but man, I don't know what happened with the whole Joe Brady thing. I mean, I kind of blame it more on Darnold and Bridgewater and their evaluations, but they don't know their quarterback situation. So, you're kind of in a spot with the Saints. You go continuity, but 9-8 or 10-7 could win you a division and get a home playoff game. And I know it's like a tough debate because you're like ultimately like, oh, if you're not winning the Super Bowl, what are you doing? But I think there's a lot of value if you have a good chance of winning the division that you keep it together. The question is do you go Jameis or do they like any of the quarterbacks in the draft? I heard my people say the Saints do not like Russell Wilson tape from last year at all. Everybody that's trying to start the Saints Russell Wilson members may need to dial it down a little later.
Any hopes of for Matt Corral, the pipe dream for Matt Corral?
I mean, of course, I'm hoping for that. That's just stuff. It's weird when you get in this business, and Jordy deals with this too. He's friends with a lot of people. It's like once you become friends with people, it's like you gotta disengage it, when you're analyzing it. But I mean, if Matt Corral comes, I mean, of course I want that. I mean, how could I not? That would be unbelievable. But we'll see. Certainly possible. There's teams that are desperate at quarterback. There's a chance, but I can't. I don't know any more than you do about
that. What's the schedule like when you come down to Baton Rouge?
I'm going to run by walk-ons over there for a minute, and I'm going to come see y'all at Fred's. I'm going to come by there, for sure. Nice. I'll do a 3:30 to 5:30. Y'all are going to be hearing from me.
Beautiful.
And then I'm going to the game, and then right after the game, I'm going by Fred's again. We're doing we got like a new QR code and some kind of promotion for people that sign up at Fred's for the Barstool Sportsbook we're starting. So I'm going to make an appearance for that tonight. Definitely going to be supporting Fred's. So I'm going to come by. I'll come by there before and after the game, and then tomorrow I'm stoked. I've never ridden in a Mardi Gras parade before, and I'm riding in Crew of Ferret tomorrow. And I'm on I don't know if y'all ever heard of Boyfriend, this crazy artist. She's nuts, and I'm on her float, so I have to wear all pink. And, I'm dressing up in all pink and some kind of, pink headband. And to my knowledge, it's the first ever Barstool Mardi Gras content. So, lots of enthusiasm for tomorrow, too.
Mincy, eating bananas in the shower and dressing up in pink for Mardi Gras parades, bro. Nobody like you in the world.
I'm thinking about dressing up as a banana for Fat Tuesday.
You should. You should. You absolutely should. All right, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you this afternoon. Safe travels in.
I'll come to see me. I'm going to make it about Fred. All right, man. I'll see y'all later. All right, thank you.
Okay.
You've seen a banana.
Yeah.
Video. I just can't even get over that.
Remember, Hargrove Roofing brings you the Jordy Culotta show. They got locations everywhere. You got to get in touch with our friend Steele Henry as Steele. He crushed that banana, dude.
Unbelievable.
I mean, he crushes.
Really
we send the challenge to Steele and see if he can eat it faster on a roof.
I love how he has all his clothes on but no shoes on.
Yeah, right.
Smart move. Smart move,
dude. Take the shoes off, but leave your jeans on because that's great in a shower.
Well, yeah, but then you can't. It's not the same video, but no shoes is a slick move. You don't wet shoes all day.
What's worse, wet jeans or wet socks?
I don't know.
Put it on the poll.
Put it on the poll.
Southern Eye poll question of the 8 o'clock hour.
Gambling.
25% off of sunglasses if you mention the Jordy Culotta show over at Southern Eye Center. Poll question for the second hour. Which is worse, wet socks or wet jeans?
I think wet jeans because you can take socks off.
No, that's the caveat.
Well, that's the
you
deal.
have to wear it.
Yeah,
you can take wet jeans off.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You can't keep wet jeans. Have you been on this whole time?
Well, yeah, we're on the show.
No, my mic.
No, I just turned
You
you up a
can't
little
take
bit.
wet jeans off and walk around like that, but you could take socks off and put your shoes back on.
Yeah,
You're gonna walk around with no pants on before you walk around with no
depends
socks
where we're
on?
going.
Come
I mean,
on.
what underwear do I have on?
Yeah.
If I'm wearing any, like, yeah, you could make it work. The shorts that people wear these days, you could pull up like little briefs.
But if
Now,
you're
if
not
you're-
wearing underwear,
Oh, then you're SOL.
right?
If you're a tidy whities, you're SOL. Then
I'm
you get
going.
exposed.
I'm going.
Yes.
Which is worse? Jeans.
Yeah,
Wet
it's
jeans.
gotta be. I mean, you
All
can't even
day.
move. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just the worst feeling.
Well, and they weigh 100
yeah,
pounds.
yeah.
Oh man, for 4th of July, we went to Lake Austin. Lake Travis in Austin, and I
Nice.
had I went full camo. Cut the sleeves off. Had all the pockets on this camouflage outfit. Slid down into the water. It was like a 2-story party barge. Went down the slide into the water. Didn't think about it at all. All my pockets filled up with water. I almost drowned. I almost died. I couldn't get out because I was getting way down the more I was in the water. All these pockets filled up. It's like, of course this is happening. I
Is
just
there
didn't think
video
about
footage
it.
of this?
No,
Please
but
say
it was.
yes.
I had to almost get saved.
Are you struggling?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike.
God,
Dude,
why is no one videoing
They were
that?
watching it is he fucking
all right?
around or is he seriously? And they had to throw me a noodle, pull me in. I was
Wow.
like, dude, I was actually got a little concerned down there. Didn't shed any layers, but it got to that point. I was like, I think I'm gonna die right here. And it was 30 minutes in.
Fucking Lloyd.
Yeah,
Ruining the vacation.
Only Lord.
it wouldn't have been a ruin. It just
Dying
would have
on
been
vacation.
it
It would have ruined it if you died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they would have.
Everybody out of the water.
No,
Lloyd's
God.
drowned.
They know me. They would have said, put him to the side, keep having a good time, and come back next year. We'll do it again. Spread my ashes.
Weekend at Lloyd's.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's really no difference after.
Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof. Steel
was
Henry.
there. He saved
Steel-
me.
He
Nice.
was there.
Not only can he save your drowning friend, but he can fix your roof. Call Steel today, 318-229-7266, 318-229-7266. Nose on your roof by getting in touch with Hargrove Roofing. As we said, Steel is located down in Lafayette, but he can help you out anywhere in South Louisiana. 318-229-7266, 318-229-7266. Yes.
The biggest deal ever.
He will work with your insurance company. He will handle the claim. Voted on by Roofing Contractor as a top 100 roofing contractor. Get in touch with Hargrove Roofing at 318-229-7266. Call directly to Steel Henry to get in touch with any help that you may need for your roof. And it doesn't matter what type of roof it is, whether it's shingles, metal roof, whatever it is. Let them help you out. 318-229-7266.
I mean, Steele would hate me for bringing this up, but did that man struggle on the way back from that trip? I'm now remembering it. There's a picture of him out there. I will not put it out. But the day after was tough for everybody, I'll say.
bet.
I maybe could have helped him. I didn't. It lives on in infamy. But Steele's a good guy.
Wow.
Ride or die, we had probably 6 people in a car that fit 4, and Steele is all
No
of
way.
6'6", 260, and we had to put him in we wedged him in the middle. Somebody else had to get shotgun because he wouldn't drive. So
Poor
oh
guy.
man, he's quick to call shotgun.
Ah.
He's like, I have to. Look how big I am.
Yeah.
Like, Steele, that's not the rules. But
You do get away with that when you're taller.
absolutely,
Yeah, like Sophie gets away with that everywhere we go when
It's
everyone's
such a-
in the car.
just a lame move.
Well, I mean,
It's a
your
great
knees
move.
are like up
Everybody-
to
It's a
your
great move when
chin,
you're tall.
though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
everybody should have
Come on
equal
now.
rights to shotgun.
Nope.
I like to drive.
Oh,
Yeah, I
see,
do
Yeah,
too.
I'm a
out on
driver guy.
driving.
Yeah,
I'm a
big
driver.
Yeah.
See,
I like to-
yeah, we're perfect match made in heaven. My move is immediately crack a beer as soon as I get in the car. Can't drive, can't do it. Sorry, guys. Yeah,
I'm drunk already.
yeah. Whoops,
Sorry.
my bad. If y'all will,
You want me to drink and drive?
Yeah, y'all can. Don't put me in that spot.
Right? Don't put yourself in that position.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I'm taking myself out of the running.
All right, we're going to talk to our cooking couple is going to make their debut here at 8:30 this morning. Really looking forward to getting them into the studio. Our friend Galen Iverstein over at Iverstein's Butcher Shop, which is right now located on Perkins Road. They're moving a little down Perkins into the shopping center right next to Counterculture.
didn't know that.
They're moving on that corner spot right there where Romans used to be.
Okay.
That's going to be the new Iversteins. That's coming soon. And let Iversteins help you out with any parties that you may have with some of their party packs or some of their boards that they can cut up for you. But also, don't forget iversteinfarms.com to go shop all of the meat. And in fact, Galen cut up some flank steak for the cooking couple who will make their debut here in a couple of minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show. And they had last night a cooking challenge. So the way that our Foodie Friday works, each week is that Galen Iverstein is the guy who is helping us out with providing all of the food for that segment. He came through yesterday with a fresh cut of flank steak meat that you see being cut up there over at Iverstein's. Then we had our crew from the cooking couple, Casey and Christy and Lance Fauché.
I don't really remember that because we're trying to come up with nicknames.
Yeah.
Mel and Chris.
That's right. Went and picked it up, and then they went to a local farmer's market, picked up some of the ingredients, and then last night inside of their home kitchen, whipped it up to a meal that we will have here in a couple of minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show. So all compliments of Galen Iverstein over at Iverstein's Butcher Shop. Find him online at iversteinfarms.com. iversteinfarms.com is where you can get in touch with him online. So looking forward to that coming up here in a couple of minutes. And Mintz was great. We'll see him this afternoon over at Fred's. If you're looking for a place to pregame this afternoon, come stop by with us over at Fred's, as we will be there from 3:30 to 5:30 with mic'd up, getting as close to first pitch as possible with LSU and Maine this afternoon, getting the series underway, the weekend series underway between the Tigers and Maine this afternoon at 6:30. So we will be seeing Mintz over there. We'll be seeing hopefully a lot of you over there over at Fred's in between 3:30 and 5:30. Some big NFL news yesterday. Aaron Donald said he's coming back to the Rams. He's going to re-sign. Odell Beckham Jr. said that he's going to re-sign. Von Miller said that he's going to re-sign. They're trying to run it back over in Los Angeles as the retirements rumors were starting to surface, both around Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald after the Super Bowl. Donald kind of put those to rest yesterday. I think Stafford comes back.
Well, where would they be? That's a total rebuild if you lose all of your stars. And I think, what did Donald say? That he would only re-sign, but I don't think that he really meant only. But he said, if you re-sign Von Miller and Odell, I'm definitely coming back. It's kind of how he put it. So he wants to bring the band back together. I don't know what the Rams situation is, but it seems like it's a lot like Tampa Bay last year, where if you can finagle the cap, which seems to be going up because of TV deals, then you just re-sign everybody and do the exact same thing. If you can have, I don't know if Odell will be ready for the start of the year, but if you add him, it would essentially be like what you did this year, and adding Odell in the middle of the season, you probably have Robert Woods back. I mean, they're as scary as any team coming back because, look what they just did. They won the Super Bowl, even though they were one pass away from Matt Stafford. And, well, you could even go even further than that if Joey has one extra second. Yeah. You see the video of Jamar Chase coming out where you never see him upset. He takes his helmet off and slams it on the ground because he saw the moment.
He's running wide open, man.
And for LSU fans, if that's what happens, Jesus.
Oh, good
Lord.
A game
can only get so
touchdown,
hard.
A bomb, yeah, right. A game-winning touchdown to win the Super Bowl from Burrow to Chase, beating Jalen Ramsey, who slipped on the carpet. He was gone too.
Gritty.
He was gone. Burrow, he didn't even need a second. He needed a half a second more to make that throw.
Just throw that thing up there.
Just put it up there.
Get it up there, yeah.
Let him run
under it.
Just put it up, man. He'll go catch it.
Aaron Donald could have caught the snap almost. He was back there so fast. No chance.
Yeah.
And now he's been hammered for 4 straight days.
I wonder what that party is like.
I wonder if he put a shirt on.
I would not.
I wouldn't put a shirt on. I know
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a shirt on right now.
I would never.
I wonder what he's gonna do when he gets off this bender and gets on the scale. He's like, ooh.
I know.
Because
they're just eating and drinking
all day,
right?
And all
everything
night.
They don't eat and drink in the season.
Right. This is when you celebrate.
Happens. Yeah.
And he's probably, obviously, look at him. He takes very good care of himself.
Obviously.
I've never done this in my life. This is bad for you.
Yeah.
Welcome to Saturdays in Louisiana. We do it once a week.
Crap. Yeah, it's not that they feel like
once
crap.
a week thing.
Yeah. Some people it's 7 days a week.
Right. Have you seen so Trevez Moore, who's the former LSU defensive end, he's now over at Arizona State, was making some news yesterday as he tweeted out a video of the Arizona State football team clearing out the locker of Jaden Daniels. Daniels is the Arizona State quarterback where this is pretty big news. He's a pretty good guy. As far as obviously Caleb Williams is was the top quarterback in the portal. As far as guys that make a splash, Jaden Daniels is one of those guys too. Reports started to surface on Thursday saying that Daniels was set to leave Arizona State and enter the transfer portal. As soon as those reports started to come out, Trevez Moore shared a video on Instagram of Sun Devil players clearing out Daniel's locker room, clearing out Daniel's locker. If you're LSU, and this might be another good poll question for our Southern Eye Center poll question of the day. If you're LSU, are you in the quarterback market? Are you still in the quarterback market right now for this season? Obviously, you had Miles Brennan come back, but if you're evaluating Brennan as a college football player, you don't have a lot of sample size to go from because health has always been a concern for Miles, right? He's not really been able to stay healthy. And then obviously you've got the inexperience behind him of the small experience of a guy like Garrett Nussmeier who played a little bit as a true freshman, not enough to even burn the season. So he's a redshirt freshman still at the spot. And then you've got the best quarterback in the class in Walker Howard, who is, I think that he is set to redshirt. If you turn to Walker Howard and ask him to go win games or play meaningful snaps, it means LSU's first season under Brian Kelly's in some serious trouble. So when you look at the board of quarterbacks and that's how it's evaluated and that's the room, are you in the market for a quarterback if you're LSU? Do you need more bodies? Do you need and look, man, this isn't a body.
It's a starter.
This is a dude. Jaden Daniels is a player.
Why is he leaving?
For Arizona. Well, Arizona State's getting into some trouble.
But didn't he say he was staying?
Yeah.
Like he put that out there, didn't he?
He was coming back for his senior year
Yeah.
and then transferred.
I don't know.
That's sad that they're doing that. Is that normal to be that mad and clean out your teammate's locker without you being there?
I've never seen that.
That's
But
kinda
Daniels
crappy.
last year threw for nearly 3,000 yards, had 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He also ran the ball for 3 scores. So, I mean, look, he's a guy who would be a competitor at just about anybody's starting quarterback spot. I mean, outside of a couple of places in college football, Daniels would come in with a chance to play at just about any place. So, I mean...
How do you want to phrase this poll question, Southern Eye Center? Do you want to say, is LSU football still in the transfer portal market for a quarterback? Or who would you rather, Miles Brennan or the Arizona State quarterback?
Is LSU in the
LSU... Yeah, is it
for the quarterback?
Okay, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm asking the community.
That's a hard question. Nobody wants to answer that out loud.
Somebody's
Well,
going to have
that's why they're just going to click a
Well,
button.
I know
and
you
it'll be
Somebody's
there.
going to have to at
But-
some point. You know,
Well, I mean, if you literally put it down to the two of them, that's a hard one.
Yeah. Because I think your allegiance just kind of lies with Brennan at this point.
Yeah.
He's hit the portal,
Yeah.
stayed in the portal, made an electric video to come back to LSU. Like, this is where your emotions get involved, and
Yeah.
coaches aren't supposed to make emotional decisions. But I'd imagine everybody, at least on the team, is rooting for Miles Brennan to at least make some
Yeah.
sort of splash, because the guy's never he's caught a lot of breaks, but none good.
Right.
It's
Yeah, that's
fascinating in the man in the arena to see how Belichick made the decision between Brady and Bledsoe. When that time was...
What did he call him in his office?
He called him in the
memes.
hotel room, because Bledsoe had to go into the 2001 AFC Championship game at Pittsburgh, and he won the game. Like, Brady you could tell, was confused by Pittsburgh.
Oh, he didn't
A
get injured. Yeah.
No, he did.
Okay.
He did get hurt. He hurt his leg in the game, and he couldn't go. But even Brady was telling the story like, I didn't know what I was looking at. He was like, they were coming from everywhere, and Bledsoe got in the game and was a veteran and was able to handle Bledsoe hadn't played for like 8 straight. It was a crazy story, man. He had just signed a $100 million deal. This is 2001, $100 million deals in the NFL. I mean, you rarely heard of those being signed. Michael Vick had one.
He was the first.
Bledsoe was the first.
Yeah, Bledsoe was the first, and Vic was I think the second one after him. And to have to make that call as a coach, and Belichick was the GM, so he's kind of one that signed off on the deal to get Bledsoe the money.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, all of it. I mean, Bledsoe was the guy. I mean, like up until that point, the way that they were approaching it was that Brady was the backup. He was this backup that did a lot of work. Like Willie McGinnis tells stories about how they would recognize that this dude's always working. They were like, I mean, one thing that he's like, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we saw Tom Brady on day one and been like, that's Tom Brady. He was like, I mean, the only reason why we knew about him was that Ty Law was a Michigan guy, and that when the draft went down, Law was kind of running around the locker room saying, we got a Michigan quarterback now. Like, we're going to have a Michigan quarterback. This Brady kid's going to be pretty good. Nobody was like, all right, whatever, man. And then
Burrow.
And then they go through a couple of they go through a training camp and practices, and he makes the 53, and in his first year he really kind of stands out as just somebody that grabs their attention because he's a hard worker. He's like always doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's on time. He knows all the responsibilities. He worked out with the defense in the weight room, which made them love him. You know what I mean? They were like, this guy's got like a defensive mentality as a quarterback. And he's working out, and he would get in like Willie McGinnis face. He'd get in Lawyer Malloy. Him and Lawyer Malloy were tight. And so then like the third game of the season, after signing the $100 million deal, Bledsoe is on a scramble and gets hit out of bounds by Mo Lewis and like bust his spleen open. Like, I mean, he doesn't know it. He's got a terrible.
For real? Like, literally,
yes.
he busted his spleen.
Lacerated his spleen.
Yes. He's got a bad concussion. They take him to the hospital. They get there. Thank God they do, because I mean, like a couple of more hours and Bledsoe's in some serious, dire trouble. And then, Brady becomes a starter, and then Brady goes, he just continues to get better every single week. I mean, it's just like,
Man,
wow.
I gotta watch that. I didn't
It's great.
know that story. Yeah.
It is great.
Have you watched it?
It's
No,
great.
I don't have access to it.
What's it on
behind a
again?
paywall. These people.
ESPN Plus
Okay.
and Hulu.
I have Hulu.
And then they get
think
into
it's
the
Hulu, like,
they get
premium,
into the
I have
playoffs. Yeah, no, it's not even on Hulu Premium. You have to have the Hulu and ESPN Plus membership together.
What's going on with TV,
crazy.
dude?
Sure
I was
about
talking
that.
about that last night with my dad. I don't know. Everything is just cable all over again. They just duped
it
everybody.
is.
Like, now everybody's just paying for a certain
Yes.
streaming service. Like, but you can't have this one. You can't have that one. So now it's
That's-
just cable
that's
again,
the
where
thing.
you have to buy packages.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm only paying $20 a month now. No more cable, and then you have to buy like 5 streaming subscriptions to
Yeah,
watch it
you
and
wanna
whatever
watch it.
everybody else is watching.
You want to watch a single sports game, you have to have this
Yes.
package, and it's just a nightmare.
It is.
Guess who's rolling up, y'all? Old Peter.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
a day late, $1
He's
short.
gonna join us today.
Wow. Well, I mean, we got our Foodie Friday coming up here too. So tell him I hope
Coming
he's
in here for a free meal.
I hope he's hungry. As the cooking couple said,
He
they'll be
should
here in
be.
about 10 minutes. They're going to come through and have the latest from Iverstein's Farms that'll be cooking up for us. And this will be every Friday, compliments of Iverstein's. But getting back to the Brady and Bledsoe, so they go through the playoffs, and Brady's like, getting them, and they're winning, and they get to the AFC Championship game. This is the week after the Tuck rule, after the Tuck game.
And there's a 30 for 30 on that.
Yes. Because
You haven't
I think
seen.
Behind a paywall.
everybody thinks that was the AFC Championship. Like, that's what sent them to the Super Bowl. They had to go play Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh for the AFC Championship that year. And like I said, Brady's like, dude, I had no idea what I was looking at. He was like, they were coming from all directions. These blitzes that they were throwing at him. I mean, it was just Troy Polamalu. I mean, like all these dudes just coming at him like, oh, my God. He ends up getting hurt. They put Bledsoe in the game. Bledsoe goes hero. You know what I mean? He goes off. I mean, Willie McGinnis was like, we hadn't seen Drew play that good in years, man. I mean, he was, I got
Feeling
my job
himself,
back.
yeah.
And even the post game, he's doing media as if I'm the guy again. I'm the man. It's good to be back. It's, it's been a hell of a process, but now we're here. We're going to the Super Bowl, and it's obvious I'm going to be the starter was kind of Bledsoe's mentality, right? And Brady, you can even see in the B-roll that they're playing back then, he's like the happiest guy in the room for Bledsoe. You know what I mean? Like, he's like celebrating the moment as if he was never the starter or anything like that.
Hey.
And then they go in and they go down to New Orleans, and Bledsoe's like thinking like, I'm gonna be the starter, and Belichick calls them into his hotel room on a Tuesday night, the Tuesday night of the Super Bowl. They're in New Orleans, and Belichick calls them into his hotel room, and they have a camera that catches Bledsoe immediately off the elevator after learning the news that he's going with Brady. And Brady's like, yeah, he just called us both in. He said, he sat us both down. And he said, Tom, you're the starter. And that was it. And we both just left the
crazy.
room. and like you could see Bledsoe shoulders go down, my guy. Tom Brady, his kind of chest puffs up, and then as they come down the elevator and they get off at the floor, like New England news, and I don't even know if they were anticipating that they were being named the starter or anything. I think that they were just down in the lobby of the hotel just trying to get some stuff, and here comes Bledsoe, and he's like, "Where are you coming from?" "We're coming from Belichick's room," and he just named Tom the starter. And they're like, and you can see the emotion in his face. I mean, like the blood is kind of like rushed out of his face. He's almost kind of got like a pale, quivered look to him, like just socked in the stomach, just rocked. And that's that. And then like the moment of pregame where they have Brady and he's like headbutting Bledsoe. Mm-hmm. He's going nuts. And Brady's like telling him as he's headbutting him, "I told you I'd get you to the Super Bowl. I told you I'd get you here." Like yelling at him. And like Willie McGinnis grabs Brady by the arms and he's like, "Yo." Like in that moment you could see it. He's like, "Yo." He's like, "Calm down, bro." He's like, "This is the biggest game of your life. We got to have you on today." He's like, don't blow all your emotion right here in the tunnel, and it's fascinating. And the way that Bledsoe handled that, I mean, like in that moment, even in the game, they have him kind of like mic'd up and he's coaching Tom as he comes off the sidelines. And he said the next day, he said it wasn't even, I mean, they had won the Super Bowl that night in New Orleans. He said 10 hours later, he was on a ski lift in Whitefish, Montana, skiing by himself, flew up there, gets on the ski lift, and he says, and in that moment, it just all came out of me. And I just cried for like almost like 30 minutes, just boo-hooing by myself.
Just riding the ski lift around and around. Like, you getting off? No.
He's just like, the emotion of the whole thing just crashed down on him the day after. And it was incredible to hear both of those guys tell the stories of, those moments in their life. And just how revolutionary that was for sports. Not just the Patriots, not football, but sports. Because, I mean, Tom Brady took off like a rocket ship after that.
It's the greatest of all time.
It was the greatest of all time.
All right, that's worth the Hulu Disney Plus subscription, right?
Peter Kuig and Fitz Kuig. My God, a couple of legends. Fitzy, buddy, it's been way too long. Peter Kuig is here. Peter stood us up yesterday and blamed it all on Fitz.
Yeah, he did. You did.
Yeah. Blamed it all on Fitz. He is here. He's going to talk to us about last night's state championship. We'll also ask him about the Wickham Wanderers, as he is over in Europe. And we'll be here. Hope you guys are y'all hungry? Hungry? We got food. We got food on the way. Food on the way. Foodie Friday. Peter Kuig's going to be here next. Oh, look at him. Look at him. A couple of local legends there. We'll be back with Peter Kuig next here on set. Jordy Culotta Show, driven by Go Chevrolet.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you daily by Morales Rolloffs. Morales Rolloffs provides dumpster rentals for residential and commercial needs in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Morales has roll-off dumpsters ranging from 10 yards to 40 yards to accommodate all of your disposal needs. Search online, moralesrolloffs.com. The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by Hebert's Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, Hebert's Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. Hebert's can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. Hebert's Lawn Maintenance. The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you daily by Morales Rolloffs. Morales Rolloffs provides dumpster rentals for residential and commercial needs in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Morales has roll-off dumpsters ranging from 10 yards to 40 yards to accommodate all of your disposal needs. Search online, moralesrolloffs.com.
Isn't it great? That's our guy, Mark Freshart, Mark Verrett. Hit him on Instagram at Mark Freshart to get yours or get anything. You see all his projects there. All right, Peter Kuig, who has been great to our show, Wickham Wanderer, and Catholic Eye great. How did last night's state championship go, buddy?
You know, in the modern world, when there's a weather prediction, as we had yesterday, it gets postponed to Saturday night.
Wow.
7:30. Yeah, so we don't know yet.
Big game. Catholic Eye in Dutchtown.
That's too bad.
Massive game. It's my son's senior year. He's made 3 straight finals.
Wow.
They won last year. Plays against Dutchtown Saturday night. And a lot of the boys on Dutchtown, a lot of the boys on Catholic High play together for Baton Rouge Soccer Club.
Oh, that's exciting.
Their best player, Jackson Stovall, and Buster have been playing together since they were 10 years old.
Wow.
Won club state championships together the whole time. So it's and they were a 10 seed. And so they've made a bunch of their games have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Extra overtime, last minute goals,
Damn.
and stoppage time. It's been a really good run for
That's
Dutchtown.
exciting.
They beat St. Paul's last round, which is who we played in the state final last year. So it's gonna be a good game.
What's been up with you, buddy? It's good to see you.
So I was able to come back to Baton Rouge for February. I told you we have 2 free agency periods in football. January is one of them, which is weird. It's in the middle of the season, so all of a sudden you're buying, selling, trading players right smack dab in the middle of the season. It ends at 11 p.m. It's interesting because here, you have all the draft stuff that goes on for a couple of months leading into the draft where everybody's picking it apart, but there's that one day. The transfer window is very similar. The ESPN over there, the Sky Sports, they have the transfer window show going on the whole day. We were able to pull off a really good deal kind of late that night. Got a guy named Lewis Wing who had been on loan with another player, and we were able to sign him to a permanent deal from a club named Middlesbrough, which is in the championship. And it was kind of one of those spots where if we could find a player where we could deepen our squad, we wanted to do it.
Great.
Season's going well. We're in the top 6.
Nice.
Which is a playoff spot. We were top 1 or 2 for a long time. Last 3 or 4 games, we've struggled to score some goals. We've absolutely smashing teams and drawing, tying, 0-0. Just not able to put the biscuit in the basket.
A little local terminology there from the owner.
I can't even remember. Is biscuit in the basket? I thought that was American. Is that Joe Dean?
Is that basketball? That is Joe Dean.
Was that Joe Dean?
That is Joe Dean.
Okay, I thought so.
Hey, put the biscuit in the basket.
So I said that in England the other day, and they were like, "Holy shit, that's a good one."
I thought it was a soccer term. I never
I
heard
did
it.
too.
Yeah, it's great.
Same.
Me too.
They're
You
youngsters,
reminded
man.
us.
They don't know Joe Dean, Jordy.
Yeah, that's right. The string music.
That one I didn't know.
What about, so what's it like being home?
It's good, man. It's the hardest part. It's a fun job, but the hardest part is just being away from Finney and the kids. This year's been a little bit better. I spent a lot of time here this summer. Have been able to go back and forth a little easier. This next time I go back, I don't even have to test.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
Nice.
So
nice.
hopefully we're moving to a post-COVID world, make it a little easier to go back and forth. But it's been good. It's been great being back home.
Yeah.
Are
y'all hungry? Are you hungry, Petey?
No, not really.
Not at all.
Oh,
no, you need to be hungry.
That's
No,
not
what
the
do you got?
stock answer.
So we got
But I can't eat.
we got skirt steak from Iverstein's.
Yeah.
We got a Foodie Friday that we're just introducing starting this morning. There we go. Bottom right there. There's the cooking couple. There they are. Come on in. Make yourself
I'm always
in.
up for some Iverson.
Yes, indeed. There they are. We've got Christy and Lance Fauché getting set for our first foodie challenge of the day. Let's bring them in. Oh, nice. Look at there. Like they're another piece of
The
Mark
whole set.
Art.
Yes.
Our guy. Yeah, Lance, give me a minute. I'm going to turn over the set. You're going to take Petey's spot. Come in, tell us about the cook, and then we'll start serving the food and start eating here when we come back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. The cooking couple next to close it out. Petey, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Jordy Culotta Show.
I'm just gonna keep.
Are we live?
Christy, Lance, our crew.
Katie.
Yeah,
Hi, Katie, y'all.
Peter, Lloyd.
Hey, how are y'all?
Noah.
What's happening, y'all?
Fitz.
Hey, how are you
So
doing?
what's up?
What's up, man? Appreciate y'all coming.
Thanks so much.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
He did.
Everything.
This thing's nice.
Like all the paint, everything that's painted in here has
So I
been
got-
done by Mark. And look, go check out that room. That's like the washroom, where you get the Burrow Chase mural.
Oh, dude.
That all came to fruition, dude.
Yeah, let's have. Who wants to speak?
Okay, get
Both of y'all.
Any of us, both of us, we don't care.
I know.
You tell us.
But like, how do you like? Sir, I wish we could use that wireless mic.
I'm about to grab that wired link.
DJI's mics they got coming out. Those are pretty sick.
Was that?
DJI, the like drone people.
Uh-huh.
They've got some new live music. Like here.
That one microphone we talked about.
Yeah, I'll do that. But the camera's like right here.
Yeah.
Do I get to try this?
It's cool. I'm moving out the.
Look, you sit right here. Absolutely.
I'm just gonna move.
Yeah, it's right here.
Put him right there so you can cut.
Yes. You don't have to put that.
And I just slide that, so I'll slide the button to it.
Yeah. Put it back in front of me.
When y'all move in here? Jordy?
January 1st.
Just make sure you.
Did you buy it?
Gotcha.
They never sell these spots on government.
Yeah, it's
Gold
Oh,
mine.
it's amazing.
Get in here.
I was gonna help him. Oh, okay.
Are we live or we on break, Lloyd?
Here, I'm gonna put
I'm
this.
done with that.
I have to swing everything the other way since you're on this side now.
Got run in the morning. Morning talk show with no coffee. It should be coffee pots and coffee.
Yeah, that one doesn't work.
No coffee sponsor yet, Jordy?
Heard that?
They give us
So don't
coffee,
smack
but
it.
nobody.
You can't if you want.
Gives it to us.
Yeah.
You want some? You
No,
we
it
have
Fitz
to brew it
does.
up.
No, we're good.
Said Lloyd shut.
They got beers, Fitz.
I don't drink.
It's the
0.0.
He said I don't drink.
Put it like off camera right there. So you can
Get mic'd up.
Sure, I'm
Move
listening.
that one closer to her.
Okay.
Because then just it'll pick up the room.
Food on TV. All right.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. A lot of movement inside the noodle, as it is good to be here on this Friday morning, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We've been telling you about our Foodie Friday all week. Galen Iverstein over at Iverstein's Farms has been kind enough to provide the material every week, the product this week. He challenged our cooking couple, which this is Lance Fauché, who you see right next to me sitting on set, and his wife, Christy Fauché, who is on the couch. There she is. Yo, yo, yo. All right, we saw some good footage yesterday. First off, good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Yes. Lance, tell me about this challenge, man. You saw it. We had you on live. We had both of you on live yesterday when Galen and his crew unveiled the challenge of the skirt steak. Tell me about the last 24 hours. How's it been?
Great.
Great. It was easy.
So,
Skirt steak's one of our favorite cuts, so.
I think the struggle for us was fighting the urge to make fajitas
Yes.
or breakfast tacos. Because, I woke up this morning thinking about it.
But I went to the
Thinking
farmer's
about
market.
breakfast tacos.
Yeah, I went to the farmer's market yesterday. I wanted to get some stuff that was seasonal, so I picked up some collard greens and some little baby carrots and
saw
to go
that.
with the skirt steak. So
Yep.
it's gonna be fire.
So what are we eating? this morning?
It's skirt steak. We seasoned it with just avec two,
Yep.
which is our baby. And then the carrots are honey glazed with a little cinnamon, a little spicy avec two. And then, Christy,
Yeah.
what did you do with the collard
I got
greens?
some Iverstein bacon and some fresh green onions from the farmer's market and frizzled them up with a Vec 2, a little drizzle of honey, and the collard greens, and they are fire.
Beautiful. All right, so the cooking couple is very talented. Not only are they going to be the chefs every Friday here for the challenge that the Iverstein's Farms provides for us on Thursdays, they also have a brand, You Bet Your Ass It's Good, which I think you see there on Christy's shirt, and then the Avec 2 spice that they have seasoned the skirt steak with is actually a creation of Lance. Tell me about the spices.
So it's it was born out of, I think, some of the first times that I was trying to season bulk meat and some of the off-the-shelf stuff didn't work was when I was cooking for the LSU football team at Lod Cook Alumni Center.
Mm-hmm.
If you're seasoning 130, 140 fillets, 120, 130 chicken breasts, and you put some of the off-the-shelf stuff on there, it's easy for it to get too salty, too spicy. And so this blend was kind of born out of that. Honestly, in its earliest stages, it was pretty basic.
Yeah.
And then it's just sort of evolved into what it is. And it's our idea of a way to get really, really full spice, really, really full flavor without it being overpowered on salt. So you can touch the salt up after.
Yep.
And it's not super spicy. So it's perfect for everybody.
Yeah, perfect for everybody, everything.
Yeah.
Avec 2 means with all, so.
Yeah, and it's one of our favorite things about it is how flexible it is. We add a
versatile.
little sage and salt to it in the morning, and it becomes breakfast sausage seasoning.
How can our listeners find it?
It's at
Iverstein.
It's at Iverstein. It's at all the Whole Foods in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Canatella Grocery.
Canatella Grocery, one of our favorite spots.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And Calandros.
Nice on.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Italian.
So, lots of places in town.
All right, let's start serving here. We want to go just cafeteria style here. Who wants a plate? Y'all come through. Snag a plate. Don't be shy here. We're going to cut up the skirt steak from yesterday. We got a crew here to feed, and we will be. This is all compliments of Iverstein's. Remember, over at Iverstein's, our friend is Galen Iverstein over there, and every Thursday he's going to challenge the cooking couple with. Oh, that looks great. Jeez, that looks good.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, if the smells were free.
Yes, the
My
smell is
goodness.
incredible, man.
How'd you cook it?
So this was cooked about 20 minutes ago.
Oh.
Literally right before we walked out the
Right
door.
before I walked out the door, I turned on a really, really hot skillet. And then I seasoned it about 20 minutes before, 30 minutes before. I like to kind of season to kind of get to know the meat.
Everybody gets to know each other?
Yeah, you gotta get to know each other, gotta mingle a little bit, right? Once that happened, it was really just a hot skillet
Who's going first?
with some butter.
You. That's what I see. That was the goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it really doesn't take but about 3 minutes on each side.
Yeah, it's that.
Golly, look how
Because it's
tender.
so thin,
So
which is
tender.
nice, so it's a quick cook.
Oh my goodness.
You can hear it now.
Oh my goodness, man.
So now
That is
got a
so
little,
good.
Oh, yeah, babe. Gotta get a little bit of that.
Now, I know it's
carrots are
breakfast
good.
time around here, but I love my food. But I like to think of meals, not breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but
Right.
meal 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
That way, because who says you can't have steak for breakfast?
Right.
Yeah, steak and eggs is
It
a
doesn't.
thing.
That exactly. You don't have to be trapped in that box of only breakfast foods or cereals or.
Petey, grab a
or
plate.
eggs.
I want a small one.
Come on, get a little bit. Get a little taste.
Get big heat.
All right, okay, come on in.
Yeah, get it over here, dude. You kidding me?
This is incredible. This is
Are
incredible.
the carrots okay?
The carrots are great. They're very well seasoned. What is that? Is that cinnamon?
There's some cinnamon.
Cinnamon, avec 2 spice. Are you getting in there? Or are you tasting?
I have to taste it because
Okay.
Every chef has to taste it.
And I'm not
Make sure
gonna lie.
it's good, dude.
How good is that?
Unbelievable.
How
Oh,
good is
shit.
that?
That's good.
How good is that?
it
Katie, you
good?
want a plate?
Yeah, I'm fixing this one for her, and then I'm gonna fix a small one for he said he wanted
For
a
Petey?
small plate. Yeah.
Petey.
Fitch, you want a plate? Okay,
Oh,
two
you
small
know
plates for the
Little
coup
one.
eggs.
Okay.
How about a big
I'm
plate that
still
they split?
learning small portions. I don't really know what that
We're gonna give them a
means,
big plate that they
so-
split. Is that Maximus back there?
I got Leonidas and Maximus back there.
Y'all hungry? Y'all want to eat? Go get a
Maximus,
plate.
What a name.
Isn't that a great
What a
name?
great name. Lot to live up to there.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite. They're so good.
Yeah, the greens.
The whole thing.
Greens, beans, tomatoes, potatoes.
The whole thing.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that song pops up often for us.
Does it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a hit.
So is this so the Foodie Friday? Is this the way to do it? I mean, is the challenge on Thursday, cook it up on Friday? We like this.
Yeah,
we like this
Yeah.
method.
Works out.
Yeah, and I guess at one point we'll have to cook y'all breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Like actual regular, classic breakfast.
Now, did he do you he did you a big solid by trimming it for you, right?
He
You
did.
Yeah, so that's one of the best things. We've got some shots of it for you guys. But basically, man, a lot of times you go buy a skirt
like
steak
those?
from the regular store. It's conventional, which I don't hate, but it's also not trimmed with love the way those guys do.
One more?
What's the toughest part? The toughest part about skirt steak is the preparation, right? I mean, like
I
kind
think
of
a lot of
flattening
people-
it and
Yeah, and I think a lot of people try to overdo skirt steak and marinate it and this and that, and I could cook you a skirt steak over a fire with literally salt, just salt, and it would be one of the best skirt steaks you ever had.
Yeah.
And anybody could.
You should treat it like steak, right?
Yeah,
almost.
Totally treat it like steak. And one of the other things is, and if you'd have eaten this right off my stove or right off of a grill, it would have had even a little more red and it'd been a little bit closer to rare. But what I'm saying is the secret is to not you hit it on the heat, flip it. As soon as you got the color you like on the first side, flip it, and you don't even. One of the other tricks is you don't even have to try to color the other side fully, because you might end up overcooking it by the time you get the right color.
Do you kill the heat after you flip it, or do
you can if your skillet's hot enough, and some of these you saw one of these was a little bit fatter, on one end, and then on the other end it's a little thinner. That thin spot, man, you want it to just touch the heat and come off. Was it good?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Gosh. Hey. How?
I'm not hungry at all.
It's so good. So tell me about the advantage of shopping at Iverstein's from somebody who is cooks as much as y'all do. Is it? I mean, it's a butcher shop. It's a farm.
It's a butcher shop, yeah. And they're getting a lot of their stuff from a great farm.
For sure.
And they get the quarters in, and they're butchering it fresh. So some of their stuff they back seal it and freeze it so it stays super fresh. We love Iverstein.
Yeah, I think to me,
that bacon's good too in that.
Oh man, that bacon's so good, man. One of the tricks is that, man, before Iverstein popped up, what butcher were you going to go to get your meat?
Right, like a real butcher. Yeah,
they'd all disappeared.
Yeah.
We sort of gave up on that sort of old sort of tradition in favor of just simple and fast.
Yeah.
Run into the grocery store, grab something that's wrapped in plastic, and
you think it's good.
And
right. you didn't really have options.
Yeah. And now, I mean, you go right here. And he's got options for you. You can go, prime choice. You can go Wagyu. You can go
pork,
grass fed.
The quality of that pork. I mean,
the pork is so good.
It's just phenomenal.
We keep 2 to 5 pounds.
He buys it.
Yeah, he's got a partner farm that he pulls it from.
And they were out of Wagyu cheeks yesterday. I was gonna.
Well, we're gonna cook y'all
some cheeks.
We're gonna do y'all some beef cheeks soon.
So
I think beef cheeks need to be on the menu.
This is incredible.
It is.
We need Scott Oldham, Lloyd. We need smell-o-vision for this.
We do. Talk about smell-o-vision all the time, so y'all get on that.
We do need smell-o-vision.
We made a big advancement here. I mean, we're doing the best we can over here. Big things coming around.
Tell them about You Bet Your Ass It's Good. What's the brand? Y'all done a tremendous job of building that brand up and just kind of what it is. And I think over here at FM Digital Media, we're going to try and bring that to people's homes. Yeah.
I think we're excited.
Yeah, we really like it. You Bet Your Ass It's Good can be applied to so many different things, not just food. We just started with some You Bet Your Ass It's Good approved products, which we love. And so we're hoping to go from there. Lance has done some podcasts. If you go to the You Bet Your Ass It's Good YouTube,
we've got some old beta. I'm gonna call those not even beta; those are alpha.
Okay.
Those are rough, but it was necessary,
rough.
Right?
They are not rough. They are phenomenal. Of him doing some smoked meats with our buddy Aaron, who's we were chefs in the kitchen with him. So it's great. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna start up our podcast and do some cooking show. We'll do some live cooking.
For sure, and I think our message to a lot, and everybody that comes to our house, when you come over to eat, it's just for it to taste good doesn't mean it has to be bad for you. Doesn't mean you have to, doesn't mean you have to feel rough after eating. Oh God, we want you to basically, when you're done eating, just feel
normal,
alive and ready to roll.
Right, agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a meal prepper.
Yes, we owned a meal prep company for about 2 years.
What a commitment.
Yeah, we were meal prep.
I'd love to do it again. It's really fun.
We were cooking for the ladies basketball team at LSU.
Some CrossFit gyms here in town.
CrossFit gyms,
yeah.
You Bet Your Ass It's Good, man.
If you want to do that for us here.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal.
You're not going to turn it down.
Yeah, we will definitely sign up for that service for sure.
It's the prepping that's hard, not the meal.
Right?
That's right. The meal's easy.
You Bet Your Ass It's Good. Ave2 Spice Company. And then, of course, our friends over at Iverstein's Butcher Shop at iversteinsfarms.com. A great team every week for Foodie Fridays. Foodie Friday, the first initial debut, the launch was very much a success. The skirt steak, the carrots, the greens, all of this is incredible. So good that we need to sign off so we can get into this stuff and really enjoy it. It's been a great week, a great Friday here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Thanks for following and being here with us. Make sure and hit that like and share button, comment. We will have more Foodie Fridays for you into the future with more fun from the cooking couple. Find You Bet Your Ass It's Good YouTube and make sure and follow them there.
Yes.
We will see you, hopefully, this afternoon, all of you, at Fred's. 3:30 this afternoon. We're going live. 3:30 to 5:30. Mikey Matuk, our newest show, a part of FM Digital Media, is taking it to the streets. He's going to be under the tent on the stage at Fred's from 3:30 to 5:30. Get as close to first pitch as possible between LSU and Maine over at the box. It's opening day between the Tigers and Maine. I don't know their mascot. I've done that twice now. I've walked in. Is it Bears?
Yeah.
Is it the Bears?
No, the capital, though.
Tigers and Bears. Augusta.
Yeah.
For the win.
There we go.
For the win. We will see you at Fred's this afternoon. Foodie Friday was fantastic. Thank you to the cooking couple. Like, share. Thanks to Peter Kuig for being here. It's great to see Fitzy and everybody. For Stewie, for Lloyd, for Katie. I'm Jordy Culotta signing off. We'll be back with you. Noah's here, too. We'll be back with you 7 o'clock on Sunday night, 7:30 Sunday night.
Yeah. Rough. Got to figure out how long this engagement party is. They turned into an all-day affair. It's 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. They rent a party bus. There's a Mardi Gras parade ready. So I'll be in rare form on Sunday night. It'll be great.
Thank you,
Very
cooking
excited.
couple. Glad the audience had a chance to meet
so
y'all. We've been
much.
talking a
Thanks
lot
for
about
having
y'all.
us on.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all.
We'll see you all
Looking forward
next
to it.
Friday.
Yes.
For the Culotta Show, signing off. Go Chevrolet. Drives us every week.